Yeah, so I still don't know how to use this. Like, is it this way? Is it like, is it this way? Or is it this way? Like, I don't fucking know. How the hell are you supposed to use this controller? Yeah, hey guys, it's Nitro Nintendo, and today we're gonna be talking about the Nintendo 64. So first of all, right, this is the Nintendo 64. You see, it's one of the first, if not the first, it is one of the first consoles with 4-player multiplayer support built into it with no extra things added for it. So, you know, we got this, and this, you know, the 4 ports. This thing lights up, it's a little red light up thing, and you know, we come up here, right, and we got the, on and off switch right here, you know, and the reset button, and where you put the carts in right here, and then right here, you either have a jumper pack or you can put an expansion pack in there, which gives the console a little bit more power and is required for games like Donkey Kong 64 and Majora's Mask. You know, games like some games have it show better graphics if you have an expansion pack in there. And then if you go back here, right on the bottom, there's this port right here, and nobody really, you know, knew what this port was for originally. It was just kind of on the bottom, right? So what it's actually for is it is for a CD add-on, I believe, to the N64, and those are very, very rare, very, very insanely rare. I've seen one of them in person at Retro Game Trader, along where I saw, you know, a complete in-box copy of Little Samson. So yeah, this is the Nintendo 64 right here. It's Nintendo's first 3D console, and it pioneered for some 3D games. It did very well for 3D games. So the N64, right? So pretty much, it had a very, very big selection of games. Not as small as the Wii U, not as big as the NES, I believe. It's like you know, in between there. It had a very good amount of games on it though, and the thing about them was most of them, if not all of them, were very well made. And like I said, 4-player multiplayer. The competition PlayStation, no 4-player multiplayer. Sega with the Saturn, no 4-player multiplayer. The N64 though, it had it, right? And with the N64, different variants of the console started to come, like the Fantastic series, which hopefully I will be getting a Fantastic series N64 soon, because I want to get at least one fantastic series, right? And then there was also the very rare Pikachu N64. You know, that's pretty cool too. And also, right, there's the golden N64, which I believe is a Toys R Us exclusive. And with all the Fantastic series came matching remotes for them. And the only remote that didn't get its own Fantastic series, I should say, is the Atomic Purple, which I actually have. So this is the Atomic Purple Nintendo 64 controller. You could get these in a bundle with the regular N64. It was a second controller that came with it. And the N64 came with the console, a gray controller, and this controller. And I see when I got my N64 from Double Jump Video Games in Vancouver, Washington, they just said, hey, do you want an Atomic Purple controller or a gray controller? And of course I said Atomic Purple, because this thing's sick. Alright, let's talk more about the controller, and then we'll talk about 3 of the games on the N64. 3 of the games on the N64 controller. Alright, so this is the controller. This is the N64 controller, you know. I don't know why they decided to do these 3 things, right? But they did. It's no problem though. So, you know, in the middle one, we got a joystick. Then we got a start button. A button, B button, D-pad, I guess, like a different button D-pad, and then we got an actual D-pad, right? And then we flip the controller around, and we got a place for our handy dandy memory card. You put a memory card in this place. That's where your memory is, right? And then a Z button, which is like a trigger. And then on the top here, we got an L button and an R button. Those are pretty nice, right? And that's the controller. Alright guys, so the first game I'm going to be talking about is Mario 64. There's a reason for this, you see? It's the first game on the Nintendo 64, and it is definitely one of the best. It is the first 3D Mario game, and my god, Nintendo did a great job with it for it being their first 3D Mario game, and they brought the series perfectly from 2D to 3D. You know, it did lack some things like the lack of Luigi. I'll always miss Luigi. Overall, this game was a great fucking adventure game. And if you like adventure games like Super Mario 64 or any 3D Mario game, I would for sure recommend Super Mario 64. And you know, the next game we're going to be talking about is Super Smash Brothers for the original, you know? And why are we going to be talking about this? Well, there's a reason for that. It's the first Smash, and also, it perfectly used the 4-player multiplayer function of the Nintendo 64, where you can have 4 players, spontaneous playing, and it's very fun, you know? They've still kept the game going very strong. It's still a great game, and it was a great game to begin with. The concept of all the fighters from different games coming together and fighting each other, amazing, right? I'm happy that this game has succeeded and is still a thing that people are playing today, and yeah, it's the first in the series. Now you're probably thinking, what's he gonna talk about next? Ocarina of Time? No. Now you're probably thinking, Mario Kart? No, you're fucking stupid. I already talked about a 4-player multiplayer game, okay? Now, I want some of you might have been thinking from the start, Star Fox 64? Good guess, but still no. We're gonna be talking about GoldenEye 007. I know, not expected, but we're gonna be talking about it. Now you see, GoldenEye 007 is a first-person shooter game made by Rare, and overall, it's a James Bond game, you know. It's nothing special about it, except it's a first-person shooter on the Nintendo 64, and it's like the best James Bond game. Now, you can probably tell me, now, Spencer, it's not the best James Bond game. Fucking Agent of Fire, Night on Fire, I don't fucking know what it's called. The shitty one for the GameCube, no, that's the best game. No, it's not. This one's the best one. Everyone knows it. Yeah, so, right, it's a James Bond game, right? But the thing about it, though, is there's a multiplayer game where you play against each other and shoot each other. It's a first-person shooter game where you shoot against each other for the N64. How good can it be? It's amazing. If you want a first-person shooter to play with friends against each other, or just play a good first-person shooter story mode, 007 is the game that you want to play, okay? Now, I know this was a pretty long video, but I'm very proud of it, okay? And, you know, if I missed anything about the console or the games, if I said anything misinformation, which I do believe that I did not, but if I did, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite N64 game is, and if you don't have an N64, or if you do, let me know which games that you would want to play on the Nintendo 64. It's Nitro Nintendo. Bye!